All right, everyone, welcome back. Today, we're diving deep into the world of Kung Fu Panda 4.
Excited to be here.
I know it's been a while since we last saw Po and the Furious Five, so
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to unpacking everything this new film has to offer.
Yeah, Kung Fu Panda has always been a personal favorite of mine.
Alright.
It's got a great mix of, action, humor, and just genuinely good storytelling.
Right from the start, this film throws us a major curveball.
Oh, yeah,
That apparent return of Tai Lung.
definitely.
I gotta admit, I was completely shocked when I saw him on screen.
You and me both. It's a great move by the filmmakers, plays on that audience nostalgia
Right.
while also upping the ante in terms of, well, the level of threat.
For sure.
It makes you question everything you thought you knew about the Kung Fu Panda universe.
Yeah.
And, even though it turns out to be an illusion,
Right.
it's the perfect setup for our new villain.
The Chameleon.
The chameleon, exactly.
Now, she's a villain unlike any we've seen before in this franchise.
Oh, absolutely.
Forget those intimidating tigers and peacocks. We're talking about a tiny lizard,
Mm-hmm.
but with the power to shapeshift.
And a serious vendetta
Oh, yeah.
against the entire Kung Fu world.
What I find so interesting about her is uh, oh, her villainy doesn't stem from just pure evil,
No,
It's more like this deep yearning for acceptance.
it really makes you think.
It does.
Imagine dedicating your life to Kung Fu, to mastering it,
Yeah.
only to be turned away because you don't fit in, because you're different.
Right. And that rejection, it can really fester.
It can turn into, well, a thirst for power.
And revenge.
Exactly.
It adds this whole other layer to her character.
So true.
She's not just some power-hungry villain.
Yeah.
There's this pain driving her.
Mm-hmm. Pain that many of us can probably relate to.
On some level, at least.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Maybe not to the extent of summoning ancient kung fu masters.
Right, of course.
Speaking of those masters, the way she harnesses their spirits is incredible.
Oh, it's visually spectacular.
It is.
And it really fits thematically, too.
Definitely.
It reminds us of how tradition
Uh-huh.
and the past really can have such a strong influence on the present.
That scene where she unleashes their combined power for the first time.
Oh, wow.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's like a Kung Fu history lesson come to life.
But with a dark twist.
Definitely a dark twist.
It's not just the visual spectacle either.
No, you're right.
It brings this emotional weight to the conflict.
Especially for those of us who've been following the franchise from the beginning.
Exactly.
Seeing Master Oogway back in action, even though he's being controlled.
Yeah.
It's such a bittersweet moment.
It really is.
It makes you feel nostalgic,
Yeah.
but also underlines the danger Poe's facing this time.
Now, while all of this is happening, Po is also dealing with his own legacy
As the Dragon Warrior.
as the Dragon Warrior, right?
Shifu encourages him to find a successor.
And initially,
It throws Poe for a loop.
it does. It kind of sends him into an existential crisis.
Well, it makes sense for his character, right?
It does.
He's gone from this, bumbling panda who just loves noodles.
To this wise and powerful warrior.
Exactly. And now he has to think about passing on the mantle.
Right. It forces him to confront his own mortality,
And the fact that change is inevitable.
Absolutely.
And that's where Zin enters the picture.
Right. Our cunning thief,
Poe's potential successor.
which seems like a very strange choice at first.
On the surface, yeah, you're right.
Their personalities, they clash.
Poe is so earnest and optimistic.
And Zin is skeptical
Mm-hmm.
and street smart.
But that contrast,
Yeah.
that's what makes their dynamic so interesting.
It does. They challenge each other.
They push each other to grow.
And in ways they probably didn't expect.
Exactly.
And through Zen, we get to see a part of the Kung Fu Panda world that's, it's new to us.
the criminal underworld,
Yeah. The den of thieves.
with their unique skills
Mhm.
and their own code of honor.
It adds this fascinating layer to the story.
And it provides a stark contrast
Yes.
to the structured world of the Jade Palace.
It does, yeah.
Zen's loyalty to the Den, especially to their leader, Han,
Right.
it shows a depth to her character.
That goes beyond just being a thief.
Precisely.
I really enjoyed watching her and Po navigate their differences.
Me too.
From the playful banter to those moments of genuine understanding.
It's clear they both have a lot to learn from each other.
They do.
But before we delve deeper into their partnership
Okay.
and the challenges they face,
Yeah.
let's switch gears for a moment
Okay.
and talk about another important theme in Kung Fu Panda 4, family.
And fatherly wisdom.
Absolutely.
It's such a crucial element of this film.
It really is, and it's woven in so beautifully.
We see Po interacting with both his adoptive father, Ping,
Mm-hmm.
and his biological father, Lee.
Each one offering guidance in their own way.
It's really touching to see
It
how
is.
both of them, despite being so different,
Yeah,
play such a vital role in Poe's life.
they really do.
And the advice they give him, especially about embracing change and finding strength in unexpected places.
It resonates throughout the whole film.
It does.
It's about seeking guidance and support from the people who love you.
Especially when facing tough transitions in life.
Exactly.
And Poe, he's willing to listen
He is.
and to learn from both his fathers.
Which shows how much he's grown
Yeah.
and matured as a character.
And can we just take a moment to appreciate the animation in Kung Fu Panda 4?
Oh, wow. Yes.
It's incredible. The fight sequences are so fluid.
and dynamic.
It's like they're leaping off the screen.
The animators really outdid themselves with this one.
They did, from the bustling streets of Juniper City to the gravity-defying fight choreography.
Every frame is just, well, it's a work of art.
It really is.
They've managed to blend traditional kung fu techniques with these amazing imaginative flourishes.
It's a visual feast.
It really is.
And it's not just about the big moments either. There's this incredible attention to detail.
In the characters' expressions, the way their fur moves, their scale,
It's like you truly believe these characters are real.
it brings such realism and depth to the animation.
I think it's safe to say Kung Fu Panda 4 really pushes the boundaries of what's possible in animation.
Oh, absolutely.
It shows how far the technology has come and how incredibly talented these artists are.
And speaking of artistry, we can't forget about the voice cast.
Oh, the voices are amazing.
Jack Black is Poe. He's just, well, he's perfect.
Yes.
He brings that signature blend of humor and heart.
And Awkwafina as Zen
And Jamie Foxx is Han.
brings such fresh energy to the franchise.
Awkwafina's comedic timing,
It's spot on.
it's perfect. And she gives Zen this sly wit that works so well with Poe's earnestness.
It does.
And Jamie Foxx brings a real gravitas to Han.
He does.
You know, makes him a compelling figure, even though he's the leader of the thieves.
I think the chemistry between the whole cast is really noticeable.
It is.
It elevates the humor and the emotion of the film.
They've truly brought these characters to life
Okay.
and created a world that feels familiar, but also excitingly new.
It does.
But before we go deeper into Poe's journey with Zen and their encounter with the chameleon,
Yeah.
I think we should talk about another aspect of Kung Fu Panda 4 that stood out to me. The way it blends humor and action.
Oh, absolutely. This franchise has always done that well.
It has.
And Kung Fu Panda 4 takes it to a whole new level.
They managed to incorporate humor into even the most intense moments
Yeah.
without ever undermining, the stakes or the emotional weight of the story.
Like that scene where Poe and Zen are escaping the city guards
Yeah.
while balancing a tray of dumplings.
Pure chaos.
It's hilarious.
But it's also hilarious, exactly.
It's such a great example of how the film uses physical comedy.
And timing
Yeah.
to create those moments of levity.
Without sacrificing the action.
And the way the humor is woven into the fight choreography.
It's genius.
It really is.
There's this playfulness to how Poe moves. It makes the action sequences not just thrilling,
Right.
but really entertaining to watch.
It reminds us that Kung Fu isn't just about brute strength.
Yeah.
It's about agility,
Uh-huh.
adaptability.
And a certain lightness of spirit.
Exactly. And Kung Fu Panda 4 captures that beautifully.
It does. And the film's ability to blend those two things together, the humor and the action, it makes for a truly engaging
And memorable.
cinematic experience.
Now, before we get into the big showdown with the chameleon
Okay.
and all the twists and turns that Poe and Zen encounter,
Yeah.
let's take a closer look at one of the most visually striking things about this film.
The visual design,
The visual design.
it's stunning, from the colors of Juniper City to the beauty of the spirit realm.
Every frame is like a work of art.
It is.
The filmmakers have clearly drawn inspiration from traditional Chinese art and architecture
Yeah.
to create this world that feels both authentic and fantastical.
The way they use light and shadow is really impressive.
It is. It adds this sense of depth and drama
It does, yeah.
to every scene.
I was especially drawn to the spirit realm.
Oh, me too.
It's so ethereal, so otherworldly.
With those swirling mists.
And glowing orbs of energy.
It's like stepping into a dream.
It is. It's a testament to the power of animation.
To transport us to places we can only imagine.
It is.
And the way the spirit realm contrasts with the more grounded world of the Jade Palace and Juniper City.
Yeah,
It creates a really cool visual dynamic.
it does. And it's not just about those big landscapes.
Right.
The detail in the costumes,
Hmm.
the patterns on their clothing,
The way their fur, their scales catch the light.
it's all so well done.
It really is.
It's clear that the animators put their hearts into this film.
They did, every frame.
Their craftsmanship is incredible.
It creates a world that feels
Immersive.
and unforgettable.
It truly is unforgettable.
It is.
Kung Fu Panda 4 is a visual masterpiece.
It is.
It shows what animation can achieve.
Absolutely. But before we get too deep into the heart of the story,
Okay.
the emotional core that drives these characters,
Yeah.
I think we need to shift gears and explore another key theme of the film,
Okay, what's that?
the exploration of destiny
Uh-huh.
and the courage to embrace your true path.
That's a theme that runs through the whole franchise.
It does.
But it takes on a new dimension in this film.
It does. Poe has achieved the status of Kragan Warrior,
Right.
but now he has to figure out what that actually means.
Exactly.
It's interesting to see him grapple with
the expectations.
the expectations placed upon him.
The weight of tradition.
Yes.
And his desire to forge his own path
And then Zen comes along.
as his potential successor.
Yeah, which further complicates things.
Zen represents a real break from tradition.
She does.
She's an outsider, someone who doesn't play by the rules.
But she's incredibly skilled.
She is.
She's got a sharp mind,
Yes,
and she's capable of compassion,
she is.
which makes her a really compelling candidate for leadership.
It does. It reminds us that destiny isn't always predetermined.
No, it isn't.
Sometimes it's about recognizing potential in others and having the courage to challenge the way things have always been done.
Exactly.
And Poe being willing to consider Zen as his successor,
Yeah,
it speaks volumes about his own growth as a leader.
it does.
It shows his understanding that true strength comes from.
Embracing diversity.
Yes.
And challenging the status quo,
It's a powerful message.
especially in today's world.
Yeah, where we're constantly told to conform.
Kung Fu Panda 4 tells us to question those expectations,
It does.
to embrace who we are,
Yeah.
and to believe that we can find our own path to greatness.
And this exploration of destiny, it's beautifully intertwined with the film's overall theme of balance.
You see this in Poe's journey.
Did you?
In his struggle to balance his love of noodles with his duties as the Dragon Warrior,
In his relationships with his fathers.
and in his evolving partnership with Zen.
Balance is at the very heart of Kung Fu.
It is.
It's about finding harmony between strength and agility,
Offense and defense.
the physical and the spiritual.
And Kung Fu Panda 4 reminds us that this pursuit of balance,
Yeah,
it goes beyond martial arts.
it does.
It's a lifelong journey,
It is.
a constant effort to find balance in every aspect of our lives.
It's a reminder that we don't have to choose between who we are and who we want to be.
No, we don't.
We can embrace all parts of ourselves
And find strength in our differences.
and use them to create a more fulfilling life.
Exactly.
But before we go further into the emotional depths of Kung Fu Panda 4,
Okay.
I think it's time to talk about another key element that makes this film so magical:
What's that?
the power of the music.
Oh, yes. And the sound design.
The soundtrack is a masterpiece.
It really is.
It blends traditional Chinese instruments with this modern orchestral score.
It creates the soundscape
Yeah.
that's both epic and emotional.
I love how the music swells during the action scenes.
It adds so much to the fight choreography,
It does.
but it's also effective in the quiet moments,
Yeah.
underscoring the emotions of the characters.
And the themes of the film.
Hans Zimmer, the composer,
Yeah.
he has a real knack for creating music that enhances the story
He does.
without ever overwhelming it.
And he does that again here in Kung Fu Panda 4.
It's a testament to his skill
Absolutely.
and his ability to evoke a whole range of emotions through music.
And we can't forget about the sound design.
Oh, the sound design is fantastic.
Every detail, from the wuxia pose staff
For the clanging of swords,
to the rustling bamboo leaves,
every detail is carefully crafted.
it creates such a rich and immersive auditory experience.
It's clear the sound team put a lot of thought into creating a soundscape
They did.
that works with the visuals and enhances the emotional impact of the film.
And the result is a captivating audiovisual experience.
That pulls you into the world of Kung Fu Panda 4.
And doesn't let go.
Exactly. It really pulls you in. And Kung Fu Panda 4, for all the action and the humor, it's really a story about growth and self-discovery and learning to embrace change.
And that's what makes it so relatable.
Exactly.
We've all been there at some point,
We have.
facing our fears, stepping outside our comfort zones.
Having to deal with the unknown.
Yeah, and Poe's journey in this film, it really captures that struggle.
He might be the dragon warrior now,
Yeah,
but he still has doubts. He still has fears.
he does.
Being a leader isn't easy,
It's not.
especially when everyone expects so much from you.
And then Zen comes along as his potential successor.
Right, it really throws a wrench into things.
She does. She represents something different, you know.
She does. She's a real departure from tradition.
She challenges everything Poe thought he knew about being a kung fu master.
It's such a clever move by the filmmaker.
It is.
Introducing a character who pushes Poe to his limits
Uh-huh.
and forces him to question his own biases.
It makes him consider other possibilities.
Exactly, Zen. With her street smarts and her unique approach to kung fu,
Yeah,
she represents a new generation.
she does.
A fresh perspective that challenges the old ways.
And their dynamic is just so much fun to watch.
Oh, it is.
They start off as complete opposites.
They clash in personality and style.
But as they get to know each other,
They learn from each other.
Yeah.
They start to appreciate each other's strengths.
they do.
And they form this bond.
That goes beyond their initial mistrust.
It really does.
It reminds us that we can grow in unexpected ways.
We can, often, from the people who challenge us the most.
The ones who push us outside our comfort zones.
The ones who make us see things differently.
And Zen, she does that for Poe.
She shakes things up.
She does.
Makes him question everything.
Yeah.
And ultimately helps him become a better leader.
And then there's the chameleon.
Right. She's more than just a villain.
She is.
She represents the pain and resentment that can build up.
When you're not accepted.
You don't belong.
It's a cautionary tale.
You know.
It is about the dangers of ambition.
And the importance of finding a path that's true to who you are.
Her power to harness the spirits of the Kung Fu masters.
It's visually stunning,
Oh, it is.
but it's also thematically powerful, right?
It is. It reminds us of how the past can influence the present.
Of the power of legacy,
And the importance of honoring tradition.
while also forging your own path.
Exactly. And the way Poe defeats her.
Not with force,
But with compassion.
with understanding.
It speaks to the film's message of peace and reconciliation.
It's a reminder that true strength comes from empathy.
From seeing the good in everyone.
Even your enemies.
From finding a way to heal old wounds.
And that message of healing, of reconciliation.
It runs throughout the whole film.
It does.
From Poe's relationships with his fathers.
To Zen's own journey of self-discovery.
Yeah.
To the final resolution with the chameleon. Kung Fu Panda 4 celebrates forgiveness, second chances.
The belief that even broken relationships can be mended.
It's a powerful film.
It is.
It speaks to our need for connection, our capacity for growth.
Our hope for a better future.
But before we wrap up our deep dive,
Okay.
I want to touch on one more thing.
What's that?
The humor.
Oh, yeah, the humor.
It's such a big part of what makes these movies so enjoyable.
This one definitely delivers.
It does. The humor is perfectly balanced.
With the action and the emotion.
Never feels forced.
It's just the natural part of the characters and their interactions.
Poe, of course, he's hilarious.
Yes.
That infectious enthusiasm, the physical comedy.
But the other characters get their laughs, too.
They do. Zen's dry wit, her
It
sarcasm.
works so well with Poe's earnestness.
And the Furious Five, their banter is always entertaining.
It is.
And the filmmakers, they're not afraid to put humor in even the most intense scenes.
Right.
It helps lighten the mood.
Keeps the film from getting too serious.
Like that scene with the dumplings.
Oh, with the city guards.
That's right.
It's pure chaos.
This is so funny.
It's a great example of how the film uses physical comedy and timing.
To create those moments of levity.
Without sacrificing the action or the stakes.
It's a masterful blend of humor, action, heart.
And those stunning visuals.
It makes Kung Fu Panda 4 such a delightful experience.
It really is.
A memorable one, too.
So, as our resident expert,
Mm-hmm.
what's your main takeaway from Kung Fu Panda 4?
What do I want audiences to walk away with?
Yeah.
For me, it's a reminder that life is about constant evolution. For individuals and for society as a whole.
We have to embrace change.
We do.
Challenge tradition.
Recognize that true strength comes from diversity.
From compassion.
From being open to learning from people who are different from us.
I think that's a really important message.
It is.
Especially today.
It's so easy to get caught up in division.
Yeah.
But Kung Fu Panda 4 reminds us of the things that unite us.
Kindness, empathy.
The belief that we're all connected.
It delivers those messages in such an entertaining and inspiring way.
It does.
It's a film about hope.
Resilience.
The belief in a better future.
A future we can create together.
I think that's a message we can all get behind.
I think so too.
So that about wraps up our deep dive into Kung Fu Panda 4.
We've covered a lot.
We have the animation, the characters, the themes.
So the music, the humor.
But before we sign off,
Yeah.
any final thoughts? Anything else our listeners might find interesting?
I think the biggest thing to remember is that it's never too late to grow, to change, to learn, to challenge yourself.
It doesn't matter if you're a Kung Fu master or a panda who loves noodles.
There's always room for improvement.
And that's what makes life so exciting, right?
It is. It really is.
I love it. It's a reminder that we're all on this journey.
A journey of self-discovery.
Every experience, every challenge,
And every encounter.
they all shape who we become.
Kung Fu Panda 4 encourages us to embrace that journey.
To find joy in the unexpected.
To learn from our mistakes.
To never stop trying to be better.
Beautifully said.
It's a perfect note to end on.
It is.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
It's been my pleasure.
We've had a lot of fun dissecting this film.
We have.
Exploring all its layers.
And appreciating everything it has to offer. And the action sequences are just incredible.
Oh yeah, we can't forget about the fight choreography.
It's a visual feast.
It is.
Blending traditional kung fu styles with that whimsical touch that we love from this series.
The animators really went above and beyond.
They did. The fight scenes are so fluid, so dynamic.
It's like watching a perfectly choreographed dance.
It is. Each character gets to show off their unique style.
Tigress with her raw power.
Monkey's agility.
Lioness's speed.
And the way it all comes together in those big battles.
It's breathtaking.
The final showdown between Po and the chameleon.
Oh yeah.
That's a masterclass in action filmmaking.
Both of them pushing themselves to the limit.
But it's more than just a physical fight.
It is.
It's a battle of ideologies, two different views of what Kung Fu really means.
The chameleon, with her ability to use those spirits of past masters.
It represents this rigid adherence to tradition.
Like, power should only belong to a select few.
Exactly.
And Po, he embodies a more inclusive vision of Kung Fu.
Embraces change.
Celebrates individuality.
Sees the potential in everyone.
And that clash.
It's reflected in their fighting styles.
But also in the emotional stakes of the battle.
Po isn't just fighting to defeat her.
No.
He's fighting for the future of Kung Fu.
To make sure it stays a force for good in the world.
And the way he wins in the end.
Not through brute force.
Through compassion, through understanding.
It's such a powerful moment.
It speaks to that core message of peace and harmony.
True strength comes from empathy.
From seeing the good in everyone.
Even your enemies.
From finding a way to bridge those divides.
It's a message we really need right now.
We do.
In a world that's becoming more and more divided.
Kung Fu Panda 4 reminds us that there's another way.
A path of compassion, of understanding.
That can lead to a better future.
And Po's decision to choose Zen as his successor.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
It shows how much he's grown.
He's willing to break with tradition.
To recognize that leadership isn't about following a set path.
It's about creating a new path.
For new generation.
It's about challenging the status quo.
Embracing diversity.
Seeing the potential in everyone.
And Zen.
With her skills and her loyalty.
She's ready for this.
She's a force to be reckoned with.
She is.
She'll guide the Jade Palace into a new era.
I think Kung Fu Panda 4 strikes a great balance.
It does.
Between giving fans what they love.
Those familiar elements.
And introducing new ideas.
To keep things fresh and relevant.
It honors the past.
But also looks to the future.
It leaves you feeling hopeful.
Optimistic.
Reminded that we can overcome anything.
I mean, we can grow, that we can make a difference.
I couldn't agree more. It's a film for everyone.
It is.
It'll make you laugh. It'll warm your heart.
And it might even inspire you.
Well said. I think that's the perfect way to wrap things up.
It is.
We've really enjoyed diving deep into Kung Fu Panda 4 with you all.
We have.
But now it's your turn. What did you think of the film? What stuck with you?
Share your thoughts in the comments.
And if you like this episode,
be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
For more deep dives into the world of film, we've got some exciting stuff coming up.
You won't want to miss it.
Until next time, happy watching.